Hello everyone, I hope you're having a beautiful day. Have you ever thought about your fire prevention, fire safety, fire awareness on your homestead? I didn't either until yesterday, but we'll get back to that later. First, let me welcome you here. My name is Shelly. I am the proud owner of Double R Farm here in southeastern Kentucky. My husband and I bought this homestead in October 2023. And this is our full-time residency. If you're returning, I want to say thank you. Your support means so much to us. This is how we get out what we love. We love homesteading. And if this is your very first time, welcome. I hope you enjoy our channel. Make sure you check out all the content for me. So, if you're new, let me tell you what's going to happen for my returning visitors. You already know, we're going to take a look at the farm. We've got lots of fun new things for you. Alright, so in here we have 2-month-olds. We have 6 2-month-olds and 4 1-month-olds. And they are all doing well, except Lucky down there. This is one of the 1-month-olds, 2-month-old. This one is my Lucky because we didn't realize that Mama over there was pregnant and he ended up out of his box way too soon. He got one lopsided broken ear. There's all of our big babies in there. There's Miss Spot. She is doing well. I'm gonna get her cleaned up later today, I think. She just had babies yesterday. And she had 7 this time. So here are my 2-day-old. These guys were born yesterday. They look like they're doing really well. They're active, they're moving. Yeah, they're doing so good. Here comes Mama. She's coming to check on me, making sure I'm not hurting the babies, huh? She's a good mama. There. Yeah, so we're getting really good at this whole bunny breeding thing. Every month is a new learning. So I had anticipated that she was gonna have another set of babies April 9th, but she actually had them 10 days early. She's just chilling. We're gonna learn to get her some toys. She's bored, so we're gonna get some toys in here for her. Because there's all of her children right there. Here's Miss Ann and her man. These guys make us eggs every day. Hi, Miss Ann. And here's some of my chickie chicks. So that's Miss Sandy. She's an original chickie chick. And I've got 3 roosters in here with her, 2 of her brothers. And then that big one back there is not her brother. And she's even making us eggs. I gotta get in there and get that one. Because Miss Ann is awesome, huh? Miss Ann. Or excuse me, Miss Sandy. Huh, Miss Sandy. I've stopped naming my animals because there's just too many names. Huh, Miss Sandy. Yeah. I'll get you some snacks. So I've been feeding them mealworms. And they get mad at me because I've not brought them down yet. I'm not usually home at this time, so they're a little early. They think just because they see me, they're gonna get some snacks. Huh. We'll come down here. These guys go crazy. There's Mr. Brutus. We put him in here with our game hens because he needed a home. Let me see if I can get a... Apparently they did not like that. And here we are, we're down to the pig lot. It has doubled in size, and I have been staying out of the pig pen unless Ronald is with me because my girls are in season and my boar is way more protective, but still wouldn't hurt a fly intentionally. Would ya, Hank? And there's Miss Piggy, Petunia, Penelope, and my little Miss Sue over here. Yeah. So they are definitely digging their new enclosure. They're getting ready to be moved. We're actually going to do another fence and keep this one closed off so that we can throw some grass seed out here. So I'm super excited about that. Yeah, so there's my girls. And there's Bonnie and Clyde. Yeah, there's a pretty girl, Bonnie. They're gonna get a new enclosure soon as well. And all these pine trees are gonna be turned into posts for my gardens. And in here is going to be something cool. Raised beds, flowers and herbs, and honeybee hives. So I'm super excited about that, but one thing at a time. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little tour of the farm. It's super windy outside, so we have to do a little bit inside today. Unfortunately, I love being outside. It's my favorite place to be. Yesterday, Ronald and I, we had a great visit with our family. We went to see Mom and Dad down about an hour away. Spent most of the day with them, so that was really good. Good time to get away. But we came back to our mountain, and we noticed that it just seemed really smoky, like, and I believe Ronald even said, I think somebody's catching the mountain on fire. But we didn't notice anything. So we got home, we were doing our thing, getting all of our stuff taken care of, chores, because you know it takes so long to do chores lately. It's okay, wouldn't change it for the world, right? Found out that we had 7 new babies. I am so in love with the babies. And then we were moving some of the bunnies around and whatnot. And somebody came by and he's like, so-and-so caught the mountain on fire. We're like, what? The mountain, it's on fire. I need to let everybody know, he says. So we're like, couple of choice words, and we're like, let's go. So Ronald and I, we packed up the truck with what we could. We don't have a lot of stuff to fight fires, right? We're just normal people. So we grabbed a shovel, a rake, and we have a little water pumper thing and some extra water. It's like, surely we can take care of that. Oh, good heavens, no, that was not the case. It was on the upper part of the mountain where we couldn't get to a road. There was only one way up there, and we need to make sure that was open for the real firefighters, right? So we went to the bottom of the hill and climbed up the mountain, and we did what we could do, but we couldn't do much. The most important thing was we wanted to make sure that there was nobody stuck up there and that there was no animals stuck up there, because being animal. So yesterday we had the most terrifying experience that I've had to have on the farm so far. Yesterday was pretty windy out, and somebody decided to start a brush fire, which up here that's nothing new, but it was just really windy. If you haven't lived on a mountain or haven't visited a mountain, let me tell you, you can expect the weather conditions to change in a matter of seconds. 1 minute it will be very calm, refreshing, life is good, and then the next thing you know, all hell's breaking loose. It's windy, it's rainy, it's storming. Give it a half hour and it's back to being beautiful. So while I don't fault the guy for how the fire had gotten out of hand, I do fault him. He should have never even had a fire to begin with. It was just that windy out. But it made me really think about what Ron and I have going on here. And we have talked, and we've got to get some things in place. But I just wanted to share some fire safety tips for you. And it's not something that a lot of people think about, especially when they live in the city. Fire departments typically can respond to your fire in about 5 minutes. Well, Ronald and I responded to this fire in about 5 minutes. It took the firefighters about 20 minutes or longer to get here because we are such a remote area in Kentucky. We did try to extinguish some of the fire. We were very concerned about the animals that might be stuck up there or the people that might be stuck up there. So we did want to make sure that everybody got out safe, and we were smart enough to know that the fire was too big for us. Neither one of us have really any firefighting skills. We can maintain our own fire when we have it on our property, but neither one of us are trained firefighters. So, that put us in a pretty risky situation. But again, we knew when it was time to back down. We gracefully bowed out. We made sure that there wasn't anybody stuck up there. We made sure that there wasn't any animals stuck up there, because that would have been heartbreaking for me. We did go back. There was a house further back. We did make sure that those kids and those animals were out as well, even though we were unwelcome guests, but we need to make sure that people were out of harm's way, because we would have felt awful if something were to happen to them and we were right there. Fire safety and suppression, it's really all about common sense for country living. This isn't common sense for people that live in the city, like I said. You want to make sure that around all your buildings, including your animals, your house, your barn, your sheds, get 100-foot defensible space around everything. So that means making sure that dead leaves, dried up dead leaves, are taken care of and removed promptly. You don't have brush lying around in piles. You just want to make sure anything that can catch on fire, I'm going to tell you, will catch on fire. It is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Right? So just get those things out of your immediate living area. And I know that brush and dried vegetation, we need that stuff as homesteaders, right? We need to be able to have compost piles. We need the brush. My grandparents used to pile up the brush because we heated with wood all winter, all growing up. So we would pile the brush up for rabbit houses. So we'd go rabbit hunting with our grandparents and we'd jump on the brush piles. Again, we didn't live 20, 30 minutes away from the nearest firefighters, so that was okay. But out here, I'm not going to put a brush pile right outside my door. That just doesn't make sense, right? Keep houses. So again, it's a little bit of common sense. We're not going to put our propane tank next to our wood stove. It just doesn't make sense. We're not going to store any amount of propane in our house. It's just not safe. You're going to want to inspect your cords frequently. We have our generator. Our generator stays outside. We run power into our house from the generator. It's another thing. Make sure your generator is outside if you use one. So some fire tips. Heaven forbid you ever have to experience a fire in your house. Like, that's gonna be the most horrendous thing that you're gonna have to experience, right? And everybody's gonna react very different. For me, the fire was a quarter of a mile away. My worst thought was, I'm not going to be able to get my pigs out, and I'm going to have to hurt somebody. If you know me, my pigs are like my kids right now. I can get everybody else out. We just had babies born yesterday. You know, that was okay. I could get them in a tote. They're in a tote anyway. I could get Mama in the tote. We could get them out. We could get the rabbits out. The chickens, well, I don't care if they don't like each other. I can get them in the dog crates, and we can get them out. But my pigs, I've got 7 pigs, and they all weigh over 100 pounds, and no way to get them out of here. So that was very stressing for me. I know it sounds weird. I just need to keep my pigs safe. So one thing that we're going to make sure is that our next big purchase is going to be to get everybody out of here safely, because that's important. But you're going to want to have a working fire extinguisher. So even if the only thing I can do is keep the fire away from my animals, I'm going to make sure I have enough supplies that I can do that. Make sure you have a plan and practice that fire out frequently. Make sure, again, like I live on top of the mountain, so Ronald and I, you have to have 4-wheel drive most of the time. So one thing that we're going to make sure that we have is a way to get away from the fire, right? So there's one road leading out to the main road that we can safely take with the trailer. We're going to have to work on getting a second road established, or at least an escape route, right? Because that to me, leaving my pigs would be traumatizing to me. You know, most of us, if you live off grid or if you live in a homestead, you probably are heating with wood. So, you know, make sure that you have working smoke detectors, and test them routinely. I got a dog over here. You know, people, they want to have less expense building their houses, and they forget about the little things. They don't think about, you know, the fire extinguishers, the smoke detectors, that type of thing. But those all play a huge important part in your life on a homestead. Again, going back to building your houses, you're building your outside barns, tool shops, what have you. Make sure that you can build with fire retardant stuff, right? So all of our roofs are tin except for one. We have one roof that is shingled, and that will probably get changed relatively soon, because again, if they've got hot ambers coming down, that's going to go through, and it's going to hurt my animals. And right now, we're all about protecting the babies, right? Yeah, I know this is kind of a sad thing, but it's a very real thing. I know a lot of people, when they do orientation at work, you know, you go through race and pass. And you never really think that you're gonna have to use it at home. But there's a chance, especially if you're living rural, homesteading, off-gridding, you're definitely going to need to know race and pass like the back of your hand. And luckily that's something that's drilled into me at work. Race, you're going to rescue. Make sure that anything that's in the immediate danger is going to be taken care of. Alarm. Call 911. Even if somebody said they called 911, just call 911. Make sure they know that there's a fire. Try to give them the best description. Ronald and I were coming home from town one day. I don't know where we are. I don't know what this road is. I know it was Sand Springs Road, but I didn't know the address, and there's a huge old fire. I knew we just passed the Sand Springs Baptist Church. I got to the next intersection and was able to give them the fire department or 911 that it was between the Baptist Church and the other name, Morrow Highland or whatever. So they were able to find it relatively easy. They can ping your cell phone, right? If there's a fire and you don't know where it's at, if you say I'm near it, they can ping your cell phone. Just make sure that you alert someone. Contain. Okay, if it's a wildfire, you're not going to be able to contain the fire. You might be able to control it. And by that, what I mean is fire needs fuel, flammable material, fuel, heat, and oxygen, right? So if you take away the fuel, it can't burn. If you take away the oxygen, it can't burn. As simple as making, brushing back the leaves if you can. And if it's not, don't put yourself in danger. You need to know your limits. You guys aren't firefighters. Well, maybe a couple of you are. Right? But for the most part, we're not firefighters. Don't be heroes. You're gonna put yourself in danger and it's not worth it. Alright. So say you are unfortunate enough that the fire is happening and it's small enough that you can control it. It's in your house, you have a fire extinguisher. Again, it's one of these things that are drilled into our head, but I don't think it's drilled enough, is pass, right? You need to get your fire extinguisher. You're going to pull the pin, aim the black nozzle, squeeze the trigger and sweep from side to side on the base of the fire. You take out the base of the fire, you're going to extinguish the fire. Like I said, it was pretty distressing yesterday. But we managed the fire. I'm going to tell the story again. I kid you not. So the fire probably went on for 45 minutes after Ronald and I had stopped assisting. I just couldn't get anything more. And even when I run codes at work, I get sick. I get a lot of adrenaline running, and I just it's just what it is. And I'm like, okay, I've got to walk. I've got to get rid of some of the adrenaline. I was on a hunt for red buds. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go for a walk. And as I'm going for this walk, the weather hadn't changed. Nothing significantly changed. And I said a prayer and I was like, just please protect my pigs, amen. I kid you not, you guys, the power of prayer worked. 15 minutes later, the firefighters were leaving. They said it was contained. There wasn't anything else they could do. There wasn't anything else that could hurt. I didn't see the smoke anymore. It was done. So that was really great. Pray on it, right? It totally works. But I hope you guys have a great day. If you have any questions or if I'm missing anything, let me know down in the comments what your fire plan is. Do you have all the things you need? Have you talked to your fire department to see how you can best help them protect you, right? Because that's important. It's a team effort. I hope you guys have a great